Hello there. Now, if this doesn't get your blood boiling, I don't know what will, because this is beyond scandalous. Because those migrants we've been sending back to France are already plotting how to get back here again. And this, from Channel 4 News, will please you no end. How desperation is fueling deported migrants to reattempt channel crossings. The government billed its one-in, one-out agreement with France as a breakthrough in stopping small boat crossings, but destitute, deported migrants in Paris tell a different story. So how do you feel about that, Richard? It's all about them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I can do one better than that, because when they come back, according to Breitbart, over 90% of English councils will be housing asylum seekers by the end of the year. Fantastic! And I can tell you now, by the end of next year, it'll be 100% of communities probably at the rate that this is going. So get ready. Yes, I'll read this out from Breitbart. London. Leaked British government documents reportedly reveal that more than 9 in 10 local councils in England will be housing alleged asylum seekers by the end of the year. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. And Jeff, I know this is the sort of thing that's going to really, really make you quite afraid. Well, we don't want you to be afraid, because we're going to be fighting through this. And when I say fighting, we're going to be throwing ourselves behind as much political influence as we possibly can. And I suggest every single one of you watching this does exactly the same, because this is a very, very concerning situation. I mean, for goodness sake, here we have the potential that everybody we have just sent back to France, okay, and future sending backs, don't think that anything different is going to occur, that those people will be then plotting to come back. And of course, like this gentleman we just sent back to, was it Ethiopia or Nigeria? I can't remember where, from the Epping Hotel. Yes, we paid him £500. Now, goodness knows how much money we are giving on. If we are, but I mean, I can honestly imagine that somehow there'll be, even if it's just a brown envelope from the British government, that these people will be given a little bit of money to go with. And I'm sure that will be a deposit, at the very least, as a down payment on a return trip via a dinghy. Yep. That's the potential of it. I mean, the thing is, do you know what? These people, let me play devil's advocate here. You can't take these people for wanting to do this. They've been offered the land of milk and honey and numerous incentives to come here, right?
Yeah.
What would you do in their situation? Why do you think there's no women and children coming? You know? Because they can only afford to save up for themselves to go and live in the land of milk and honey. Or is there another reason? Is there another reason why they're all young fighting age males? I don't know. I mean that could be just a bit of a conspiracy theory. I mean some of them are. They may be apparently some of them are grey-haired, balding like myself, with many wrinkles, and yet they're children. Yes, but apparently.
Richard, they're only 16. They're only 16. It's aging that they go through in those places.
That's right, Jeff. That's right, and we mustn't forget that. It's horrific what they have to go through, as we know, in France, which ages them so badly when they're leaving war-torn France. And I mean, good grief, I've been to Versailles, right? And I tell you what, I was only 8 years of age, okay? I went in there, I took a look around, okay? And then I came out, and that was only last week. Yeah, look what it did to me. Look what a simple trip to Versailles did to me. Let alone,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm not going to start doing any cultural appropriation here. Incidentally, before you start saying racist, I certainly will not be mentioning eating lovely cheese and drinking red wine outside beautiful cafes with accordion music. No, I will not be doing that. Jeff.
Yes, well, to get back on track again from the ageist parts we're going through at the moment, why are they all coming here? Because A, we let them, and B, we pay them to be here. Effectively, we give them a whole new life. They don't have to worry about a thing going forwards, and very, very, very few of them are ever going to be sent back. And listen, and this is another big point that people are missing. The ones we've sent back to France, we've had to accept one in, haven't we? in return. Yes? So we're going to keep those anyway. Then the others will come back. And then we'll be fighting to get them out via the courts. By then, they'll have received a whole new raft of legal backing on how to stay. I'm amazed they got rid of this guy, this one guy they paid 500 quid to and sent him back to Ethiopia. I'm absolutely amazed that they managed to achieve that. Really, I am. Because
Jeff,
the human rights lawyers must have been fighting to keep him here. They must have been.
Jeff, why is it the Sky News were interviewing this man? Did you see that? I think
Yes.
it was Sky News. They did an interview with him. I thought, why are you interviewing this man? You know, first of all, he should have been in prison. I mean, in a foreign prison, but I don't know if that's happened yet. But I mean, how is this? Where are the morals of Sky News or whichever? So I won't say, just in case it wasn't Sky News, whichever. I think it was Sky News, but I might be wrong. Whoever it was, where's the morals of the? I mean, where's Ofcom? Ofcoms, don't they get to say, hang on a second, this is a little bit distasteful? Apparently not. No. Jeff, these people, honestly, and £500 that we know of, that's the other side of it. I don't trust any of this. We might have actually paid for them for these people to have a villa in wherever they're being sent back to.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and to be honest with you, here's the irony. Here's the irony. If we were to pay for people to have a villa when they return to their point of origin, whichever country they're going to, they're still going to cost the British taxpayer less than if they were staying here. That's the crazy thing about this. That is the insanity of this situation. And then you have to ask yourself, you know, if you're sending people back and giving them large amounts of money to go, well, maybe they'll come back and so we can send them away again with large quantities of money.
Absolutely, yeah. No, the thing about the Sky News interview is the guy himself, I can't remember his name, Kabatu, was it? He said that he had stood outside the prison for 3 hours before they shuffled him off and told him to go away to the train station. And he also claims that he went on last Saturday, he went to the police and said, "Here I am. I'm giving myself up. Please take me back." And they refused. They just walked away from him. Now, the police say, no, he said. No, said the police. He was running away from us. He was trying to evade us. And I'm going, and I did a video on this, which you won't have seen unless you go to our sister channel, which is Tripe and Whatnot. I did a 90-second video on there. I did a very short video on there about this, saying, isn't it really strange that people are now looking at this convicted person who did a heinous act, and we're more likely to believe what he says than we are the government and the police. Just think about that. That's the position that our politicians and our authorities have got us into. We would much rather believe a convicted, rather than our authorities. What on earth have our politicians done to this country? All of them. For the last 30 years or more, they've destroyed our faith in them because they are a bunch of charlatans and liars, backstabbers and self-service people. They look after themselves first. Just look at this latest thing from Rachel Reeves, breaking the housing rules reportedly by letting out her family home without a licence. Now, she's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Do you think she might need to have a handle on some of these rules? And wouldn't you have thought she took some ruddy advice on this? No, that's just yet another example of our masters, our political overlords. They don't care about us. They don't. Well, and the rules are for us.
The thing is, though, Jeff, I mean, you've got to look at the situation. It's not just Rachel Reeves who's had a bit of a scandal with the House as well, though, is it?
No.
I mean, come on, it's Angela Rayner. They've got bigger portfolios, property portfolios than a certain company I was going to mention, but won't, just in case they sue us. Yes, but there you go. I mean, it's utterly scandalous. This is... Oh, here's a thing. I wonder if Rachel Reeves would be renting her house out to any newcomers. I mean, it's there and it's available. I'm sure it could become a house of multiple occupancy. That could be something.
Yes,
that could be a thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I bet you it has crossed her mind. Lots of profit.
Well, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah,
isn't it time we started looking into the property portfolios of Labour MPs, maybe, or actually MPs in general? Anyone who's voting for open door immigration, which effectively many of them are.
Yes. Now, there's a thing. Keir Starmer, do you know what he said? Do you know what he's just recently said? He wants to stay in power for a decade. If he makes a decade of weeks, I'd be surprised, let alone a decade of months. He's not going to make a decade of years. Here's what he told Sky. Yes, it's 10 years of national renewal. And I always said it was a decade of national renewal. And I made it very clear in my conference speech how serious I am about patriotic national renewal, taking our country forward. And then that Xi Jinping loving Nurk had a go at Farage, calling him a Putin lover. I love it. Oh, I just a decade. Can you imagine that? A decade of Starmer.
Well, we'd have to leave the country, Jeff. No, I'm serious. We would have no choice. If we heard that was ahead, if that was a genuine prospect for some reason, or if he cancelled the next elections, or he was going to for whatever reason, I don't care. War, for instance. If that was the case, Jeff, as soon as I heard that, I would be considering leaving now, because you and I, our lives would be over, period. Anyone who speaks out against Commandant Starmer would be, in deep trouble.
Oh, yes. But he seems blissfully unaware that Farage could well be the next Prime Minister who would destroy the whole hard communist internationalist agenda in the UK that he's backing. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. Well, did you see Nigel Farage put forward a motion in the House of Commons yesterday to leave the ECHR, the Council of Europe? And do you know what? All the MPs are in there chuntering away in the background, making a right. But they look like a lot of... In fact, Nigel Farage turned round to them and said, "Be silent, children." I thought that was great. Be silent, children.
Oh, it was pathetic.
Dear me.
It was utterly pathetic. It gives you an idea of what the British public, unfortunately, is capable of voting in. Because when I saw that lot, I thought, that's embarrassing. That's genuinely embarrassing. And the thing is, as well, here's the beautiful thing, though. Hopefully, most of those people who are doing the jeering will be voted out. Will be voted out in the next election. But we said for a while now that a general election could be a hell of a lot sooner than we think. And I mean a hell of a lot sooner. Because this is collapsing fast. This is looking bad. But there is one other thing, though. And that is maybe he will cancel democracy. Never mind cancel elections. Cancel democracy, period. That's the kind of character we have in power. And if that happens, then I'm afraid to say there is the probability that things will turn a little uglier than they already are in the United Kingdom. I fear for this country, there's too much nasty rhetoric out there at the moment, and I'm a little concerned by it. Things are starting to tip over